Honda, we've chased down a lot of dreams, each one leading to the next. All the way to our latest. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue. Our latest innovation on the road to being carbon neutral by 2050. And certainly not our last.
What does it take to define the ideal driving experience? It takes Polestar 2. With fully electric performance, Swedish design and engineering, and up to 320 miles of range. Polestar 2 is designed for drivers. View offers at polestar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to beautiful but cold Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Today, it's day 2 of the college baseball season, and the LSU Tigers out of the SEC are hosting Central Arkansas's Bears from the A-Sun Conference. Come on into the ballpark with former Golden Spikes Award winner Ben McDonald. I'm Lynn Rollins. Ben, yesterday for the 23rd consecutive season, LSU gets a victory in its opening day game. And it didn't take long for the Tigers to get on the scoreboard. It didn't take them long to find their first home run of the season.
Well, the long ball was such a big part of LSU's game this year, and it was in the second inning in a nothing ball game. Jerry Jones steps to the plate and hits a 3-run shot to give LSU a 3-0 lead there in the second inning.
4 LSU Tigers wound up with at least 2 base hits, and Hayden Travinski had 3, including a long ball.
Yeah, Travinski's going to be a big part of this offense hitting behind Tommy White. He had back-to-back singles his first couple at-bats, but he gave LSU some big-time insurance in a 2-run ball game there in the 8th inning. You talk about a loud home run. Folks, this one off the scoreboard out toward left field. So Hayden Travinski got off to a wonderful start, a 3-for-4 game with a couple of RBIs, including that home run.
LSU used 5 relief pitchers yesterday, and Nate Ackenhausen picked up the victory, and he was pretty solid.
No, he was. I mean, VMI can hit. We knew that going in, and they roughed up Thatcher Hurd a little bit there at the beginning part of the ball game, but Ackenhausen came in and really kind of slowed that offense down. He ended up going 3 innings, punching out 6 along the way. So he looked really good his first outing, and I tell you what, the one that impressed me the most was the junior Gage Jump, the transfer from UCLA. I tell you what, fastball ticked up to 96 miles an hour, showed a really good breaking ball at time. Make no mistake about it, he could be a force at the back end of that bullpen, but I think he'll be a weekend rotation piece for LSU as they build him up after Tommy John surgery.
Well, Central Arkansas last night opened its season with a 3-1 loss to VMI. The Bears are led by head coach Nick Harlan. He's in his 3rd season, and he'll try to get that club from Conway, Arkansas, into the win column against the defending national champion LSU Tigers. It is lineup time for the Bears. A.J. Mendolia at first base. Bryce Sermonelli is the DH. Preston Curtis is the left fielder. Casey Shipley is catching. Drew Sturgeon in center field, followed by third baseman Mason King, right fielder Zeb Allen, shortstop Reed Bowman, and at the bottom of the order, the second baseman Tanner Leonard. And it's Luke Holman making his LSU debut, Ben.
Yeah, Jay Johnson called this maybe his most important transfer. Luke Holman obviously was a Friday night guy for Alabama last year, and he had a wonderful year. 7-4 with a 3.67 ERA. And boy, I tell you what, 16 appearances for him last year, 15 of which were starts. He pitched in the SEC. You see the strikeout to walk ratio, almost 3-1. Very, very good. Pretty good arm, too. You're going to see a low 90s fastball, pretty much all 4-seam fastball, but a really good slider. That's his best secondary pitch. An occasional curveball, an occasional split finger fastball. But I tell you what, to pick up somebody that's got SEC weekend rotation experience like Lou Holman was a big pickup for Jay Johnson.
And the first pitch in an LSU uniform by Holman is a ripper over the middle of the plate. Mendolia is at the plate for the 3rd time officially in the young season. He was hitless in 2 trips last night. This one is tagged pretty well, slicing into the right field corner, and that is a foul ball by inches. That would have been at least a double, and most likely 3 bases, but foul by not much.
Certainly, it's a pitcher's win today. Wind blowing in. You can see it right there. I mean, it's at 16 miles an hour, pretty much out of the north. It was just the opposite wind yesterday. Wind was pushing out. It was a more offensive day. It's going to take a lot to get a ball out of the ballpark today.
Well, the word on our graphic was perfect. It is blustery.
Can we just say it's cold? It's really
I'm going to tell you. You know how cold it is?
How cold is it?
It is colder than the lead Husky's nose.
That's cold.
We're going to see, this is a challengeable call, fair or foul, and we're going to probably go to the monitor here for the first time. And indeed, there will be a request for a cinch for another look. Jeremy Dupree, the plate umpire. Let's take a look at this and see if we can see anything with this action. That looked a little bit to the right of the stripe, but very difficult to tell.
Yeah, that one looked clearly foul.
And we've got a quick rendering. We will see what the umpires have decided. There's Jay Johnson, his second year as head coach. Of course, the national championship a year ago, his first. A win today would be his 95th.
After review, calling the field a foul is confirmed. Central Arkansas has one challenge remaining.
So that burns a challenge. There's one left for Central Arkansas. Conway, Arkansas, maybe 25, 30 miles from Little Rock. It's in a beautiful part of the central portion of the state. Mendolia looks at it upstairs. He's from Fort Worth, Texas. Bryce Cormancelli is on deck, followed by Preston Curtis. A breaking pitch does not bite. That one was over the helmet of Mendolia.
Yeah, on cold days like this, especially windy days, your feel as a pitcher, the feel for the baseball almost feels like it's slick. It almost feels like a golf ball, and it's hard to control the off-speed pitches.
That's a strike as it curls over at the letters, and Mendolia goes down looking. Strikeout number one on the first hitter. Bingham, Kling, and Pearson in the outfield. Braswell and Milam are the middle infielders. White and Jones on the corners for the Tigers defensively, with Travinsky behind the plate today, making his first start as a receiver. And the pitch is up and in to Cormancelli.
Now, Luke Holman's from Sinking Springs, Pennsylvania. He was drafted in the 20th round out of high school, chose Alabama instead. 2 years there at Alabama. In his first year, he was pretty much a reliever with a couple of starts mixed in there. And, of course, last year went into that weekend rotation and really was one of the top pitchers in SEC play last year.
That's fouled off the handle. It's just not comfortable to play baseball in weather like this. The hands sting a little bit more, as you mentioned. It gets difficult to impart a lot of spin on the ball as a pitcher. You better keep your fingers warm if you're a defender, too, because that ball can go anywhere, Ben, with cold, stiff fingers.
Well, the heat packs are going to go play big. Those disposable heat packs, I'm sure most players have one in their back pocket. You'll see most of the players kind of go to their back pocket.
There will have to be a play at first, and Travinsky runs wide right to create the throwing angle and makes it. So a couple of strikeouts to get things started for Luke Holman.
Yeah, that's the good breaking ball we talked about. Likes to get ahead with his fastball, but he can finish with that hard slider of his, too. He's got back-to-back strikeouts on that slider. Holman struck out 87 last year in 81 innings of work. He doesn't get hit very much either. Only allowed 54 hits did Holman in his 81 innings of work as well.
Here's Preston Curtis. He was 0 for 4 last night in a loss to VMI. out of Flower Mound, Texas. You see the blankets, the winter gear, the headgear, anything that's legal and can get you into the ballpark to keep you warm is fine today.
Oh, what a difference a day makes, huh? Mid-60s yesterday, the wind blowing out, 20 degrees cooler today.
I mean, I am shivering like Mike Tyson trying to balance a checkbook.
Why you want to pick on Iron Mike?
I don't do it in person.
Probably a good. Yeah, I saw a video of him on the internet the other day. He still moves around pretty good in the boxing ring.
That rips in for a strike. Or maybe shaking like a freshman writing his first term paper.
Yeah, that would have been me.
You're still shaking.
Still shaking.
Braswell has to charge, scoops, transfers, fires on the money, and the inning is over. A couple of strikeouts and a rollout to the shortstop, and we move on to the bottom of the first inning. It's Tiger time at the plate, and the left fielder Mac Bingham will lead it off. Brady Neal is the DH. Tommy White at third base. Hayden Travinski batting cleanup for the second consecutive game. He's playing catcher tonight. Josh Pearson in right field. He has moved from second base to right field. He is a natural outfielder. Jared Jones at first base. Michael Braswell at shortstop. Stephen Milam is at second base, the youngster there. And Paxton Kling in center field batting ninth. And it's McRae on the mound for Central Arkansas.
Yeah, sophomore out of Rogers, Arkansas. Mostly a reliever last year. He had 14 appearances for Central Arkansas, 2 of which were starts. Worked 26 innings. Ended up going 3-1 with a solid ERA, 4.50. See 9 walks on the year and 15 strikeouts. He's expected to be in the weekend rotation after a year in the bullpen last year. Just a sophomore. His starts last year, though, I went back and looked. His 2 starts last year, he performed really well against Arkansas State. Didn't allow a run in an inning and 2/3, and he worked 5 innings against Eastern Kentucky, not allowing a run either. So in his 2 starts last year, did not allow an earned run.
Bingham is leading it off for LSU, and in his debut, he was 2 for 3 with a couple of runs batted in yesterday.
Yeah, he had a good day yesterday. And another key transfer by Jay Johnson. Obviously, Bingham came from Arizona, where he played 4 years, all Pac-12 performer last year. And I'll tell you what, he looked good at the plate yesterday. You mentioned the 2 base hits. That was one of them there, but he reached base 4 out of 5 plate appearances. And you could see he hits a nice short stroke to the ball. And it almost reminded me a lot of Alex Bregman standing in the box. The way he stands upright, the short stroke to the baseball. And, of course, anytime you can pick up a transfer that's got 4 years of experience under their belt, like Bingham has, it's big. So he goes down from kind of towards the bottom of the lineup to right at the top in day 2 here.
He's capable of double-digit home runs, but his strength is spraying the ball all over and hitting a lot of line drives. Bingham, Neal, and White in the bottom of the first for the Tigers. Ball 1 from Coleman McRae. The deepest outfielder is Zeb Allen in right field. Ball 2. There you get a look at the defensive alignment pretty much straight away, but Allen 3 or 4 steps deeper than normal in right. Two balls and a strike now. We turn our attention briefly to LSU softball down in Florida in the Clearwater Invitational. LSU had its second walk-off victory, defeating number 6 Oklahoma State 7-6 earlier today. That was win number 500 for Beth Torina. Hannah Carson had a 2 RBI single for the victory in the bottom of the 7th inning. And Raylene Gutierrez, who's the new Babe Ruth for LSU softball, hit her 4th home run. Sydney Berzon was the winning pitcher. She's 3-0. But 3 come from behind victories down in that tournament for the still undefeated LSU Tigers in softball.
Wow.
There have been some slow pitch scores in that tournament, though, Ben.
A lot of offense, huh?
Mm-hmm. King will get under this and make the play. Bingham is retired. Let's check Central Arkansas defensively. Curtis and Sturgeon and Allen in the outfield. Mendolia at first base. King on the other corner. Leonard is the second baseman and Bowman is the shortstop with Shipley behind the plate.
This is the Central Arkansas club, 23-31 overall last year and 14-16 in the Atlantic Sun Conference. They finished 10th in conference play last year out of 14 teams.
There's a check swing foul ball by Brady Neal. Neal is the DH today. He came on as a reserve late in the game last night. And the pitch. That's there for a strike.
Yeah, Coble McRae, I tell you what, good arm by McRae. And that's what the scout report says. Fastball's going to be 91, maybe show you a 93, 94 from time to time. The slider's the best outs pitch, and we've seen that twice. A couple of really good sliders to Mac Bingham, rather.
Ben, you've already talked about sometimes the difficulty of throwing as a pitcher with cold fingers, especially with a breaking ball. What else is bothersome here for pitchers? How do you try to stay warm, adjust, and just try to get the elements out of your mind if you possibly can?
I think it becomes mental, right? And I used to always just try to tell myself I'm the warmest guy on the field, right? Me and the catcher are the warmest guys on the field.
Out at first base, a superb effort by Mendolia to go to his right on the backhand side. He kept it within reach and then got it over to McRae.
Well, the internal clock is so important. And Mendolia knocks his ball down, but he realizes because he's so close to the bag, obviously, he's got time. So he gathers himself, picks the ball up, and makes a nice feed over the pitcher, McRae, who is covering. So a really nice play all the way around, actually.
It really was. Put a star by that one in your scorebook as Mendolia made that underhanded throw as he was flopping in the dirt. And 2 gone. Here's Tommy White, who was hitless yesterday. White takes one for a strike. His parents are here from Florida, and his dad recently retired from his construction business. That's a sweeper wide.
Yeah, Tommy White's dad actually played college football.
Mm-hmm. His father just sold a very, very successful construction business. He started as a fireman, Tommy White's father did, and then on his off days learned construction as a young man and turned it into a very, very well-respected construction company, and he's kind of moved on from that so he can follow his son wherever his baseball career may lead.
Well, what a career it has been to this point for Tommy White. Began at NC State, had a monster freshman year, transferred to LSU, and had an equally impressive year.
White underwent a couple of surgeries in the offseason. He's just about completely healed. Not quite.
Yeah, and look, Tommy's probably a little bit behind because, as you mentioned, he didn't play any fall ball because of the surgeries, and so he didn't get any reps there. Picked up and was healthy and ready to go leading into the first game of the year, but still a few at-bats shy of where most guys are.
That's a good breaking ball, and White waves and can't find it. He was injured very early last season and played through it. He had to miss some games. He was in some discomfort at times without full range of motion, but much, much healthier this year after the 2 surgeries. And a liner will roll for a while in left center field. Tommy White rounds first. White will make second easily. That is vintage Tommy White. He is so strong, and he put the barrel of the bat right between the stitches and shoots a liner into left center field. His first extra base hit of the season, and the crowd knows they are seeing a developing star.
Yeah, it looked like just almost like a breaking ball, just kind of hung up right in the heart of the plate. And what impressed me about Tommy White last year, and he did it there, when he gets to 2 strikes, he goes in 2-strike mode where he kind of spreads out. There's not much movement. He is so strong, just throws the hands at the ball in 2-strike count. And when he gets ahead in the count, he's looking to do a lot of damage. But when he gets behind the count, he can shorten up and put the ball in play. And that was a good piece of hitting by Tommy White. First base hit of the year for him.
And just to expand that, Ben, he's hit over 50 home runs in 2 years, and nearly half of them have gone to right field.
Well, when he's at his best, and look, that's how you put up the numbers that he put up in his first 2 years. And don't forget, I mean, we talk about the home runs, 24 and 105 RBIs, which led the nation last year, but he hit 374. And to hit that high of a batting average, you know, you have to be able to use the whole field, and he certainly can do that.
Let's look at Travinsky's big swing yesterday.
Yeah, this happened in the 8th inning in a 2-run ball game at Travinsky. You talk about getting all at one, folks. This one was a loud one off the scoreboard. He knew it. He said, I knew I got that because I didn't even feel it when it touched my bat.
There's a swing and a miss on a pretty good breaking ball. It got there with some snap. So the 2-out double by White does not account for an LSU run, and we move on to the 2nd inning on a Burr type. Let's take a look around the ballpark, shall we? It's 330 feet to the foul poles down each line, 365 feet to the power alleys. It's a symmetrical ballpark with center field 405 feet from the plate, and a 10-foot fence protects the ball yard. And right now, Ben, that 400 is playing about like 450 with that wind blowing in. That 365 is playing more like 410.
If you're playing golf, it's a 3-club wind.
Okay.
If you normally hit a 7-iron, you better hit a 4-iron today.
Casey Shipley is the first hitter. He's out of Farmington, Arkansas. Facing Luke Holman in a Tiger uniform for the first time. Holman struck out a pair and got a ground out to short in the first inning. And the pitch is a little bit elevated. 2 balls and no strikes. This Central Arkansas team only had 3 hits last night against VMI. And they're trying to get something going here against LSU here in game number 2, day number 2 of the 2024 college baseball season. That's a strike. The 2-2 pitch. This is the make it happen pitch. Now we go to a full count as that one was high and away. Once again, a 3-2 foul ball, and this one will be up out of play on the right side.
Well, what I've learned about Luke Holman so far is he's not afraid to throw that breaking ball in just about any count. Yeah. 3-2 count there. Leadoff batter here at the top of the second inning, and yet he has the confidence to throw that breaking ball for a strike.
Once again, the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He went upstairs with some heat. And Shipley becomes the 3rd strikeout victim in 4 hitters against Holman.
Yeah, breaking ball before that to slow that bat down a little bit than an elevated fastball. That's what you're going to see Holman do. It's all 4-seam fastballs. He's not going to throw a sinking fastball, so he wants to pitch up in the strike zone with that 4-seam fastball and then come behind it with one of the 2 breaking balls that he has.
Here's Drew Sturgeon, the center fielder. He'll be followed by Mason King. Sturgeon hit in the mid-260s last year. I beg your pardon, just under 300 with 7 home runs. Sturgeon was 0 for 2 last night in the season opener against VMI.
Well, like VMI, Central Arkansas returned 6 of their everyday players into a lineup that was pretty good. They got a true freshman in the lineup, a couple junior college transfers to round out the top 9.
Braswell on the first base side at second makes the throw, the long stretch. And it's completed. Jared Jones on the receiving end from the peg by Braswell as he had to cross over to the right side of the diamond to get to that ground ball.
Yeah, this is not an easy play for Braswell. You can see where he started. He started back on the outfield grass, charging in, and that big arm coming across the diamond, and a nice finish on the back end by Jared Jones to keep his foot on the bag.
Here's Mason King. He's a senior. King was 0 for 4 last night. Two outs, the bases are clean. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now make it 1 and 2. Swing and a miss. Holman is living upstairs, Ben, and Central Arkansas is biting for that elevated pitch.
He's doing a good job with that elevated fastball. 6 batters face. How about 4 punch outs on that elevated fastball right here?
So we move on. Still scoreless. The bottom of the second inning coming your way next. Third-year coach Jay Johnson's got a roster that includes 7 seniors, 9 juniors, 11 sophomore, and a baker's dozen freshmen. So, Ben, pretty good balance there. 7, 9, 11, and 13 from top to bottom, so to speak.
Yeah, it was a big recruiting class, you know, and the recruiting class overall ranked top 5 in pretty much every poll out there. Of course, number 2 transfer class Jay Johnson brought in, number 1 transfer class last year.
There's a ground ball to the right side, and Mendolia is there to make the play. So far, LSU has tested him a couple of times, and he's had passing grades. So Josh Pearson rolls out, 3 unassisted, and this brings on Jared Jones. Now, Jared Jones last afternoon, crashed a home run in the second inning and then did a rather unusual motion coming to the plate, kind of a waddle as you described it, but you've got the story on that, right?
Yeah, I mean, you'll see him come around third base, and he got a changeup that was up in the zone and hit it a long way. That got the party started for LSU, a 3-run shot. And as he rounded third base, he kind of waddled towards home plate. And I asked him before the game, I was like, what was that all about? He said, well, one of my best friends and the guy that helped me out a bunch was Cade Beloso, that was, you know, a mentor for a lot of these younger players. And he said that was in honor of Cade Beloso, because that's really kind of how he ran. I said, okay, I get it. I said, is that going to be every time you hit a homer? He'd say, no, that was just the first one in honor of Cade Beloso, who was here yesterday.
That's an interesting backstory. And his dad, Rod, is here as well at just about every game. Those are some good South Louisiana folks. And you know what? On a day like this, some of Rod Beloso's seasoning in a gumbo or whatever would be fantastic. Hot rod seasoning. There's the waddle. Watch this. Like a penguin, kind of. Kind of like Ron Say. You remember Ron Say?
Yeah, I remember Ron Say. Played for the Dodgers for a long time. That's right. He's a little bit bigger than Ron Say.
I know there were some folks in the stands who saw that yesterday and thought he had pulled a hamstring.
Well, he could have a big year. Remember, I mean, it wasn't a lot of at-bats. Jared Jones, freshman All-American last year, 14 home runs, got a lot of playing time early, really the first half of the season. Didn't see a ton of playing time after that.
And he knocks the third baseman down with a line drive, but Mason King hangs on.
My gosh. I don't know if Mason King caught that or it caught him, one or the other. But that was a rocket off the bat of Jared Jones. A really good play. Hot corner, huh?
So 2 outs. Mason King went through a short religious ceremony out there, thanking his maker for not getting hurt right after that play. I mean, that was a wicked. That's a laser shot. And Mason King said, well, it's my job to catch it, and he did.
I don't know what the exit velo was, but I have a feeling it was up over 100 miles an hour.
Well, you talking about the ball or King's?
Both. Both.
This is popped up right side. The first baseman drifts over and can't quite get it. So Braswell remains alive. Braswell out of Mableton, Georgia. Wide stance at the plate. And whacks this one out of play on the right side.
Yeah, Braswell tells the story that he really wanted to come to LSU out of high school, but his parents felt like it was just too far from home, so he ended up at South Carolina for a couple of years. But he is glad to be wearing some purple and gold.
I'm sure you can hear in the background and perhaps the rumbling of the train headed somewhere. And the 134 is right on time. The 1-2 pitch. Ben, growing up in Denham Springs, did you ever hear any trains as a kid at night? Kind of wonder what was going on with them, where they were. It's a comforting sound.
I did. I used to. My mom and dad used to take me up to the train tracks in the middle of Denham Springs. I used to love to watch the trains come through. Always did that. Always was a big train way before there was Thomas the Train and all those things.
Did you have a model train in your house?
I did. I had a little tracks that ran on the batteries.
Right. Braswell ties into one. This will be a long run for Sturgeon, but he does get there, and the wind certainly made that one a lot more easily playable than it looked like off the bat. So a 3-up, 3-down inning. Couple of well-hit balls for the Tigers, one by Jones, one by Braswell, but no base runners, and we move to the third. We are scoreless in Baton Rouge.
At Honda, we've chased down a lot of dreams, each one leading to the next. All the way to our latest. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue. Our latest innovation on the road to being carbon neutral by 2050. And certainly not our last.
When are sports more than sports? When your highlight reel opens the door to 4 years of higher education, 0 student loan debt, and NIL earning potential. When your stats include free room and board, nutrition and mental health support, plus medical care with extended coverage. And when your experiences, friendships, and development put you in the win column for life. For college athletes, sports just mean more.
The Alabama transfer Luke Holman has not disappointed in his LSU debut. How about 4 punch-outs out of the first 6 batters he's faced so far? A couple with the breaking ball and a couple with elevated fastballs. Showing a good fastball, ticking up to 93 miles an hour, and a really good slider so far.
But he's managed to come back and get those strikeouts after missing on the first one the majority of the time. All the numbers, though, show you the huge advantage of throwing early strikes, especially first pitch strikes. I mean, it's phenomenal how low the batting average goes when the pitcher works ahead with the first pitch strike.
And that's what Jay Johnson loved about Luke Holman. That's the reason why he went after him so hard in that transfer portal when Holman decided to get into the transfer portal, because he's a strike thrower, and he proved in SEC play last year that he could fill up the strike zone. He's a big guy, too. I mean, 6'4", a little over 200 pounds.
I've got the last part of that.
A little over 200 pounds?
Yeah, not the 6'4" stuff. What a play in right field by Josh Pearson. Josh Pearson hustling toward the infield with the severe angle. And yesterday he was at second base. Today he proves his worth in right field.
Yeah, mostly a left fielder his first couple years on campus. Moved to second base yesterday and right field today, and that was an outstanding jump and an outstanding reading. Really caught that ball on the backhand side. So an outstanding play by Josh Pearson.
And this bunt will curl off to the left side foul by Reed Bowman.
The hometown crowd giving Reed Bowman a little bit of a hard time. Tried to bunt, and as he got down that first base line, he didn't make it too far before he face planted.
That's a half a point deduction for losing your footing. Bowman came up grinning, though. He knew he was going to get the raspberry for it. Here's the 1-1. High and tight. Only one hit in the game, a double into the left center field gap by Tommy White. Reed Bowman out of Little Rock, and he's facing Luke Holman. Luke has faced 7. There have been no base runners. Now he's going to have to find the strike zone with a 3-2 count. Tanner Leonard, the 9-hole hitter, is on deck. Swing and a miss. That pitch looked like it got in close to the hands, Ben, and there was not a lot of advantage for Bowman to try to locate that.
Yeah, there's something I'm seeing about Holman's fastball. It's got some carry through the zone, because he's got himself in several fastball counts when you knew fastball was coming, and yet so far Central Arkansas not able to catch up with it.
And they've been swinging at some pitches that appear to be balls when they get to the catcher, but they've been evidently not able to recognize that as a pitch out of the strike zone or potentially out of the strike zone.
Yeah, and we mentioned earlier, it's not any sinking fastballs. It's more four-seam balls that have a lot of carry through the zone, like a high spin rate type fastball. That's kind of been the difference maker right there, is that breaking ball.
Tanner Leonard falls behind 2 strikes.
Now he's got a curveball too, but the slider is definitely the choice of the 2 breaking balls for him so far today.
Holman is looking for his 6th strikeout in 3 innings. Tanner Leonard out of Searcy, Arkansas. Hit .276 a year ago. The 1-2 pitch. That bender stayed upstairs. Two outs, the bases are empty. We are scoreless in the top of the 3rd on a blustery, uncomfortably cold day in Baton Rouge, especially considered where the last couple of days have been. Quite the change. There's an off-speed pitch, and Leonard waved it through it. And Ben, that is strikeout number 6, 2 in each of the first 3 innings. Let's take another look at this.
Well, spin him if you got him. And certainly Luke Holman can spin that slider. He has been on point so far today. So how about 6 punch-outs through 3 innings? And we are scoreless as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning here in Baton Rouge.
We invite you to look at the graphic on your screen. This is just a portion of the lost production for the LSU Tigers from last year, and a lot of huge vacancies to be made up, including the 1st and 2nd draft picks in Skeens and Cruz. And of course, Trey Morgan was sensational as well. What you don't see on that list is Gavin Dugas, one of the best hitters during his portion at LSU, one of the best hitters in the SEC. Yep. You don't see Cade Beloso 16 home runs as a part-time player after being injured the year before. And Jordan Thompson contributed as well, and some others.
Yeah, Cade Beloso. And don't forget about Ty Floyd. Ty Floyd was really good in that rotation, especially like a lot of the pitchers got hot when it mattered the most toward the end of the season last year. LSU lost a lot, but they have certainly reloaded.
Stephen Milam out of Las Cruces, New Mexico, considered one of the top high school players coming out of that state.
Yeah, he was the #1 prospect coming out of the state of New Mexico. Was a high school, New Mexico Gatorade Player of the Year. Boy, he put up some monster numbers in high school his senior year. Ended up hitting .627, drove in 50 runs his senior year in high school.
He's at the plate for the first time as a Tiger. The wind has picked up in velocity and is blowing even more briskly, mostly in from center field. That's a north wind. There you see it.
Yeah, what we hear about Milam, really good range at second base. He can run, above average runner. Switch hitter too, which is an advantage obviously. And he's one of those guys that Jay Johnson was talking about. When he left fall ball, he didn't think he had a lot of choices to make with his position players, but Milam's one of those guys that's really elevated his game leading into the first game of the year and finds his way into that starting lineup today.
And he finds himself on base in his first at bat. That's the first walk of the game. And it brings on Paxton Kling. I met Paxton's parents this morning, and they are really, really kind and gentle and enthusiastic people. His dad is a CPA.
Big year coming for Paxton Kling. If you don't know it, he's just a sophomore, but he is a draftable sophomore, so he could leave LSU if he chooses to. And right now, believe it or not, didn't get a ton of playing time last year, less than 100 at bats, but projected as of right now to be a second-round draft pick.
So in effect, Kling and players that are in his similar situation potentially could have two, and we put this in quotes, but 2 money years.
Yes. I mean, you have a big advantage to be a draftable sophomore. You can kind of, you know, have your number in mind, and if you don't get it, you come back to school for your junior year.
Then you've got another number in mind. You can come back to the school for your senior year if you choose. The numbers will show you, the Major League Baseball draft numbers will show you a steady trend in a lowering of players who are coming out of high school drafted and accept that assignment, as opposed to players who go on and play at least 2 or 3 years in college. The college participation is rising. The numbers that are drafted straight out of high school that sign contracts are lowering. And it makes sense, Ben. You've got NIL money now. You've also got the acceleration of the teaching experience in college. As Kling goes down on strikes, that's the first strikeout for McRae.
And I think one of the biggest factors in that now is we used to have a 50-round draft, and now we only have a 20-round draft, right? And so a lot of these players that used to get drafted late and would sign out of high school are finding their way to college campuses now. And you mentioned the NIL money. That's a piece to that as well. But it's hard to pass up your college experience, you know, and it's proven over the history, especially the last 5 or 10 years of Major League Baseball, the fastest way to the big leagues is through college programs. You can look on MLB rosters, and half of the MLB rosters are actually college participants. 25% roughly come from the international market, 25% come from high school. So the fastest way to the big leagues is still through college.
Milam takes a moderate lead from first base, and that pitch misses to Mac Bingham. Well, you mentioned NIL, and I did too, and I'm still looking for some NIL money for me. But I have found out what NIL stands for. Not interested, Lynn.
Just a matter of time.
Yeah, but I don't have much time.
Well, that beanie cap you got, I don't know who makes that, but that could be a good start for you.
Well, that was a terrific gift from a guest, an audience member,
and
a
look,
fan here at the ballpark.
What kind of briefcase is that?
An old one.
I know that, but what
it's
company?
A Samsonite.
Okay, well, you should get in touch with Samsonite. That thing is like 104 years old, and it's still working. Like, that would be a great NIL thing for you. Samsonite.
You know, I haven't thought of that. I need to use you as an agent. Do you have any time in the off season?
Maybe. I mean, what's my percentage? It just depends on what my percentage is.
Well, 50.
50%?
50%, brother.
Well, I'm going to start working for you. I like that.
Runner on the move. Pitch sweeps outside, and it's uncatchable. Milam will get credit for a stolen base because he was moving on the pitch.
Yeah, he picked obviously the right pitch to run on a breaking ball that clearly got away from McRae. Really good jump, too. And that's one of the big parts of Milam's game right there. He can really pick him up and put him down. Considered probably the third fastest on the team behind Brown and Kling.
And that pitch is tight, and the Tigers, for the first time, have 2 base runners on in this game. Ben, I want to go back to the Milam steal attempt and what turned out to be a wild pitch or an uncatchable ball by the catcher. But so he's running with his head down. He's digging as fast as he can to second base. How is the communication on the infield to tell him, hey, you're not going to have a play, make the turn, whatever? Is that from the third base coach? Is that him? Is it from the first base coach?
You know, typically.
Or does he look at the infielders and say, hey, nobody's covering here?
It could
that looks like there's no throw.
Yeah, it could be all those things, you know. And a lot of times, you know, the middle infielders will let you know in today's game. They didn't used to do that, hey, you're up, because they see the ball at the backstop.
That's a smash. Oh, look at the play by the first baseman again, and the out at second. What a grab and recovery by A.J. Mendolia.
Boy, this is big time here now. This is a big time play. We've seen Mendolia now a couple of times make some outstanding plays. This was a rocket off the bat of Brady Neal and to the backhand side. Watch him lay out to the backhand side. And boy, I tell you what, most first basemen would have got up and just went and stepped on the bag to take the easy out over at first base. But instead, he set runner out at second base.
That's a remarkable play by Mendolia, and that's the third test that the Tigers have sent his way, and the most difficult, and he aced it. Tommy White, first pitch swinging, chops it to the third baseman. The throw to first is in time. White, who doubled in the first, grounds out early in the count here in the third, and the Tigers leave 2 aboard. We go to the 4th inning. UCA, nothing. LSU, nothing.
When are sports more than sports? When your highlight reel opens the door to 4 years of higher education, 0 student loan debt, and NIL earning potential. When your stats include free room and board, nutrition and mental health support, plus medical care with extended coverage. And when your experiences, friendships, and development put you in the win column for life. For college athletes, sports just mean more.
Runs and hits have been hard to come by in the early going on this very, very uncomfortable, chilly day here in Baton Rouge. Temperature in the 40s with a brisk wind blowing out of the north. And you can see everybody bundled up as we've still got, by the calendar, a month or so to go in winter. And Ben, for a very uncomfortable day and gray skies, this is a heck of a crowd.
Aren't we supposed to have an early spring? Didn't Ponce Phil not see his shadow
that's
a couple
true.
of weeks ago, and he predicted an early spring? I don't see it today.
Well, next week I think we're going to be pushing 80. But yeah, but here's the deal. Now, Phil, I respect that tradition, and I love what they do, and it's like their Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
You know, with the woodchuck, you know, coming out and saying yay or nay. But I don't, you know, to me, it's Nancy the Nutria for Louisiana. You know, if Nancy comes out,
she
know,
comes
from,
out of
from
her
borough.
Yeah,
That's right. That to me is a much more
accurate,
relevant, and
okay.
accurate discussion
I'll buy
than
that.
you know, for Louisiana.
Nancy, huh?
Yeah. That's over the head of the right fielder, Pearson. He made a heck of a diving catch coming to the infield last inning, but this one got by him, and a pretty darn well hit ball by Mendolia, the first baseman, who's been a star defensively already, and comes through with a double.
Yeah, I think this ball fooled Josh Pearson a little bit. I don't think he thought this ball was hit as hard as it was, and he gets turned around right there. Kind of went more toward right center field at first. This ball slicing back over his head up against the wall. A nice piece of hitting by Mendolia.
So that is the first base runner for the Bears. And they get it at a good time. They put one in scoring position with nobody out. And it brings up Sermonelli.
Yeah, Sermonelli last year played at Riverside Community College, played some JC ball.
We've got an offensive conference.
Yeah, head coach Nick Harlan in his third year. Leadoff double. The idea is always, worst case scenario, get you a ground ball behind the runner, advance him to third base, and that might be what this conversation is about. Could very well be a bunting situation. Maybe the conversation could have been about that as well. The idea, get the runner to third base less than 2 out.
That's fisted the other way, and it finds a gap and rolls slowly through the dirt on the infield. And it moves Mendolia to third as Sermonelli just went with the pitch. Sermonelli just went with that pitch and was able to drive it where nobody was.
Well, Bradswell, the shortstop, you see where he is, top part of your screen. He's pretty much playing right up the middle, just an inside-out swing. Now first and third and nobody out. Like Jay Johnson's going to come out with a quick conversation.
This is just a little reminder session. There's nobody warming up in the bullpen.
Yeah, early part of the ball game. This is one of these ones where you don't want to have a crooked number going to the scoreboard. So this is a conversation about, look, try to get me a ground ball if you can. We'll take a ground ball double play. We'll trade 2 outs for 1 run in this situation. But the idea is not let the inning get away from you.
So I know you didn't work out of the bullpen much in your career, but on a day like this, do you factor in the weather? Does it take a little more time to get loose and
Absolutely.
feel right?
100%. I mean, I think if you're scheduled to pitch out of the bullpen today, maybe you get down there a little bit earlier. Maybe you get up every half inning and do some stretching.
And that might be on your own, right?
Yeah. I mean, Ball players know. I mean, baseball players used to playing in cold weather, wet weather, rain delays, all those kind of things. And everybody has a certain time it takes them to get ready in the bullpen. And on a day like today, maybe you take a few more pitches, maybe do a few more stretches and running around and moving just to kind of stay loose to be ready.
The pitch. Swing and a miss. That one had some twist to it when it got to the plate. Curtis waits and waves with no contact.
Well, you always think about ground ball at first, but once you get to 2 strikes in these situations, now you're thinking about strikeouts. Luke Holman's got 6 of them so far on the day.
The infield is at double play depth. Nobody out, runners on the corners. Short lead at first base. That one sweeps wide. Mendolia is at third after a double, and he moved up a base on a ground ball to the opposite side. And now it is Preston Curtis with nobody out. And UCA has a chance to move in front. That pitch is elevated, and the check swing is not a strike.
Well, that's the pitch that's got him about 3 strikeouts. Got Holman about 3 strikeouts today. And what he likes to do is have that fastball be up in the zone because it sets up the breaking ball right behind it.
Here's the 2-2, the make it happen pitch. He made it happen.
Well, he got exactly what he wanted, and he needed to strike out with first and third and nobody out. Let's take a look at the pitch sequence. So starts him off with that good breaking ball to get ahead 0-1. Another breaking ball, swing and a miss. So 0-2, you got him down. Another breaking ball just off the outside corner. There's your elevated fastball. But instead of going to breaking ball, right back with another elevated fastball to get rid of Preston Curtis.
So we move forward, 1 out. Now a double play would get LSU back in the dugout. Bunt may have been on. The runner was coming with a safety squeeze from third. The pitch was a strike. 1 out. 2 aboard. They're on the corners. Casey Shipley, the cleanup hitter.
This is where communication becomes very important from Tommy White at third base. If he sees that runner break early, he's got to be letting everybody in the infield know that the runner's coming towards home plate.
Here we go at 0-1. He attempted to bunt and missed it. The runner on first base takes second, and that removes the conventional double play from the playbook. I like that on the infield, what Central Arkansas just did right there. They got LSU moving with the bunt look, and then that enabled the base runner at first base to move up to second without a lot of attention being paid to him. However, Holman takes care of business as he says, well, let's just get rid of the out at the plate.
Boy, this is what you like to see, and this is what you get from a guy that's been in the fire, that's been on Friday nights in the SEC. The ability to elevate your game when it matters the most. Remember, it was first and third and nobody out, and Luke Holman simply grabbed another gear. Back-to-back strikeouts. He gets Curtis and Shipley. So LSU just 1 out away now from getting out of what was potentially a pretty good jam.
Shipley fanned last time on a pitch that looked up out of the strike zone. And here is Drew Sturgeon, who grounded out to shortstop. Sturgeon is played as a pull hitter, and he yanks this one into the right field corner. It is curling foul as it bounces on the bullpen mound. A double by Mendolia. A single by Cormanelli. That came in back-to-back plate appearances, but since then a couple of strikeouts. 2 in scoring position for UCA. Still some work to be done by Holman. The 0-1 pitch. Foul the other way.
Boy, this would be big time here. If Holman can wiggle out of this jam, you talk about a momentum swinger for LSU.
Well, he's going to have to wiggle like a Bourbon Street wriggler to get out of this one. Let's see what he does at 0-2. Very high, and Travinski, who has improved a lot defensively behind the plate over the last year or so, quickly came out of his crouch to make sure that wasn't going any farther.
Well, we talked about Travinski. He's healthy really for the first time in a while. Got off to a slow start last year because of some knee operations. but healthy this year. And you're right, he has worked extremely hard on his defensive skills.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a number off the very cap of the bat.
It's kind of what you're seeing with Holman is what we thought we would get. Elevated fastballs and breaking balls behind him. More of a north and south type pitcher.
A called third strike.
I think Hayden Travinski might have stole this one. That ball looked like it was a little bit off the outside corner, but Travinski quickly brings it back. And how about Luke Holman, folks? First and third, nobody out. How about punch out the side after that? He dots an eye on the outside part of the plate. LSU gets out of a big jam, and we are scoreless as we head to the bottom of the fourth inning.
No runs, 2 hits, both of them coming in the top of the fourth for Central Arkansas. No runs, 1 hit for LSU. Tommy White's double with 2 outs in the first inning has been the only base hit for the Tigers so far. So this game, Ben, unfolding much unlike the one we had last night. We're still in the early going, of course, but only 3 hits and no runs between these teams so far.
Yeah, it's been a pitcher's duel. I mean, both pitchers have been really good.
Hayden Travinski, Josh Pearson, and Jared Jones, the middle of the order for the Tigers, against starter Coleman McRae. Travinski waved at that one, and it was well off the plate. McRae has struck out 2. He has walked 1. Travinski's contribution the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season last year was a difference maker in the run to the championship. I don't think it would have been done without some of the clutch home runs and other base hits by Travinski.
This team was so resilient last year.
Yep.
You know, when Brady Neal went down, Alex Milizzo had to elevate his game. So did Travinski as they began to get more playing time.
Travinski fouls that one off of his foot.
And just like the pitching staff did. I mean, don't forget. Remember, Chase Shores went down. Edwards went down about halfway through the season, both of which had Tommy John surgery. So they were the real big pieces toward the back end of this bullpen for LSU last year, and yet others had to elevate their game.
Two strikes on Travinski. He's been a multiple-time member on the SEC Academic Honor Roll. Travinski, coming into this year, had played in 112 career games, about half of them, a little less than half, as a starter. 21 home runs in his career at LSU, most of them last year. And he's going to be awarded first base. That's not what you want to happen after you're working well ahead in the count.
Yeah, tried to come back inside, looked like with a fastball. And one thing McRae has done really well today, the breaking ball's been solid, but he's used the inside part of the plate with his fastball. That one just got away from him.
So Travinski, who hit .356 last year with 10 home runs in what was essentially a part-time role, is a base runner, and he's been aboard last night 3 times with base hits. Pearson has rolled out to the first baseman unassisted. The junior from West Monroe. Travinski has only a 2-step lead, and that was a nice off-speed pitch. Time is called. They asked for the pitch clock to be reset. It is, and here we go. Ground ball right side. McRae to the plate. And a high fly ball to very shallow right field. Let's see who's going to take charge. It is a lunging catch by Tanner Leonard, the second baseman.
Yeah, today's one of those days with the wind blowing like it's blowing. Everyone needs to converge on the fly balls, just in case.
Jared Jones, who had the first home run of the season yesterday for LSU, is at the plate. It was a 3-run smash into the left center field bleachers in the second inning. .45 driven in for the freshman a year ago. That is smoked into the left field corner, but it rolls foul through the bullpen. Jared Jones, listed at 6'4", 253 pounds. And you know, Ben, sometimes that bat looks like a corn dog in his hands.
He's a big dude. I mean, him and Travinsky. Don't forget about Ethan Fry. Not any playing time yet on another big outfielder with a lot of pop on this LSU roster.
Slow ground ball left side. King charging and making the play from third base as Travinsky moves into scoring position with 2 outs. So twice Jones has hit the ball to the left side. The first time he literally knocked the third baseman down as he caught the liner. And this time he rolls out slowly to King. And it's up to Braswell here with 2 outs, a runner in scoring position for the Tigers. This is only the second time, make it the third time, that LSU has had a runner in scoring position. They've not been able to push anybody home yet, nor has Central Arkansas. That's a pitch that bends, but it's high. The outfield is a little deeper than normal, perhaps by a step, and pretty much straight away. 2-0. Travinsky will be away with contact at second base. That misses as well. Stephen Milam is on deck. And a 4-pitch pass extends the inning.
Yeah, McRae up to 70 pitches now, so you got to think he's probably getting pretty close to the end.
Hunter Alexander, a right-hander, is warming up for the Bears.
Looks like they're going to get double barrel action down in the Bears bullpen now. Left-hander and a right-hander.
Milam rips one on a hop through the infield. He collects a base hit, perhaps his first RBI. The throw back to the infield does not get to the plate in time. And the youngster Stephen Milam, in his second at-bat, his first official at-bat after walking in the third inning, drives in the first run of the game. A big moment for the rookie from New Mexico.
Oh, I tell you what, and I'm talking about first ball hunting too, as Milam just barrels the ball up right past the diving second baseman Leonard. The right fielder Allen comes up, and really a good throw towards home plate for Travinsky just in time. LSU on the scoreboard first.
And let me tell you something else about Milam. He finished his high school career with a 3.95 GPA, and Ben, he was a member of the National Honor Society.
Yeah. And he has really come on. Like I said, the fall for him was not a great fall, according to Jay Johnson. It seemed a little bit overmatched at times, but that's not uncommon. But since returning after the Christmas break in January, really has elevated his game and found his way into that starting lineup. And boy, 2 at-bats, walked, stole a base his first at-bat, RBI single, first collegiate base hit.
He doesn't look unhappy about it, does he?
No, he doesn't.
We'll have this conversation broken up. There also is a time limit on how quickly you need to get to the mound and how quickly you need to disperse. And again, it was 22 minutes shaved off the average game time last year in the SEC. 22 minutes, which is substantial. And I don't think anybody suffered from the pace of play at all.
Well, the start we got off to yesterday, maybe a little bit longer average game.
I said last year. Yeah, yesterday was 3 hours plus. That gets a piece of Paxton Kling. Yesterday, the Tigers wore 8 bruises. They were hit 8 times by VMI pitchers. It's FOT. The bases are full of Tigers. Braswell, Milam, and Kling aboard after the RBI single by Milam, and we go back to Mac Bingham at the top of the order. He has popped up to the third baseman and walked, and he takes a strike. One nothing Tigers on the RBI single by the rookie Milam. McRae to Bingham. 1-1.
Yeah, and you get the feeling this very well could be McRae's last batter.
That's a strike. As McRae works ahead now, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The bases are loaded. That sweeper is corralled by Shipley, and the count is even at 2. Bingham also is a good student, a former member of the Pac-12 Academic Honor Roll. And the 2-2 pitch. Smashed high and deep, but curling foul in the left field corner. Bingham spurned a 40th round draft pick by the Chicago Cubs back in high school to go on to have an outstanding career in the Pac-12 at Arizona before coming here for his last season. Right fielder Zeb Allen is very deep. The pitch. A called third strike, and that was one dandy breaking ball.
Outstanding. Maybe the best breaking ball of the day by McRae, and when he needed it the most, too. But I tell you what, how about the youngster, Stephen Milam? His second collegiate at bat. How about a rocket through the right side? Pushes home the first run for LSU as Travinsky scores. LSU up 1-0 as we head to the top of the 5th inning.
Central Arkansas has another game tonight at Alex Box Stadium, Skip Bertman Field against VMI. And then the Bears will take on LSU on Monday. They'll be at Memphis on Wednesday. They will host Southern Illinois the 23rd through the 25th and in a 3-day series, and then they will go to Arkansas State on the 27th. By the way, a little note about Arkansas State. You remember Alan Dunn, the former pitching coach here at LSU and elsewhere. Well, he retired over the winter. Gone to live in the Birmingham area.
Right around Hoover,
and has retired after a very, very splendid career. LSU has VMI tomorrow, Central Arkansas on Monday, and then Northern Illinois on Thursday. Stony Brook on Friday. Oh, wow. Nicely done. Nicely done at first base. That saved a base or two.
That was a big-time play there.
Jared Jones making that stretch.
Big time. It's almost like a Trey Morgan play here. And you could tell Luke Holman never really got to handle this ball. It was not a great throw, but how about the finish on the back end? And did he keep his foot on the bag now? This might be the second challenge coming up here, because while it was an outstanding play to Jerry Jones to pick it up off the dirt, I'm not sure his right foot stayed on the bag there.
Well, any first baseman will tell you that that short hop is the worst one. And we are going to have a review of this.
Yeah, that quick review we got right there looked like the right foot might have came off the bag.
This will be the second challenge by Central Arkansas. Let's take another look. Watch the right foot.
So it's on there, and as he goes and bends and he receives the ball, did the foot come off? Well, maybe it stayed on. I know it definitely came off towards the end, but we saw Trey Morgan for 3 years, and he was just an elite, maybe the best defensive first baseman.
He is the best defensive first baseman in college I've ever seen.
Yeah, and we kind of took for granted all the plays that he made over at first base. He was a game changer over at first base. And you mentioned the play that he made at the College World Series on that attempted squeeze play, coming in and flying in and shoveling it with his glove to Alex Milazzo, who applied the tag in that Wake Forest game. But that's awfully tough to do for a first baseman. I mean, you're worried about picking the ball out of the dirt and trying to figure out a way to keep your foot on the bag if possible.
Now, correct me if my memory is faulty, and that's entirely possible, but Jared Jones was being looked at as a catcher, too, was he not, when he came to LSU?
Yeah, when he came to LSU, he was going to be a catcher. Or that's what they thought he was going to be, but then obviously LSU's so deep in the catching department. At the time he got here, you got Brady Neal and Travinsky and Alex Milazzo, so he kind of slotted into a DH role, a first base role.
Did you ever pick up the first baseman's mitt and go over there and play?
Yeah, I played a little bit of first base in high school, caught a little bit as well.
All right, we're going to have the decision in just a second, as they have come from the review room up that tunnel that's adjacent to the visiting dugout. Come on, guys, you can make it. Here they come.
They're trying to stay warm down there. Well, we couldn't hear him, but we can see him.
So there was not enough to overturn the original call on the field. The issue was, did the right foot come off the bag?
It definitely came off, but I think when he received the ball right there, maybe the foot was still on. And as he finished it and ended up landing on the ground, obviously the foot came off. Or maybe there wasn't enough evidence to overturn it. Regardless, it's an out.
Here's Zeb Allen, who was robbed of a base hit on a diving catch by Josh Pearson a couple of innings ago. One out. Nobody on base. Tigers on the RBI single by freshman second baseman Stephen Milam have the lead. Ben, a day like this reminds me of the coldest I have ever been at an LSU baseball game, and you were involved in that game at Kentucky. It was a doubleheader, and I think Russ Springer pitched the second game. And I was working radio, and it was snowing during the game, but it was just unbelievably miserable. It was 34, 35 degrees with snow falling in Kentucky. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. That's one of the coldest I've ever been pitching a baseball at Kentucky. I remember looking up, and it was probably you guys. Somebody started a fire in the press box on purpose in a garbage can. I remember seeing smoke coming out of, and the fire department actually came. They thought the press box was on fire.
Yeah, that was Joe Macaluso who set that fire. I mean, not deliberately. He's not an arson. But it was in a metal trash can, and we were gathering up all the scrap paper we could do to stay warm. I mean, that's how cold it was.
All your notes for the game.
Oh, it didn't matter at that point.
To stay warm.
And smoke started billowing out of the thing, and you're right, the fire department came.
No, that was a miserable game.
Did you notice that when you were pitching, the smoke signals coming from the press box?
Fire truck, yes. All trying to play a game in Lexington, Kentucky.
And I think you pitched extra innings, didn't you?
I did. I threw like 160 pitches or something. That was a cold day.
Well, that's the coldest I've ever been at a ballpark. That is the initial walk from Holman. Remember, it was Holman who struck out Curtis and Shipley and Sturgeon with runners in scoring position and nobody out last inning. He's at the 75 pitch mark, and that walk is going to get LSU's bullpen up. Left-hander throwing, it could be one of how many, 9?
1 of 9. Well, we saw 2 or 3 left-handers yesterday.
Check swing and a strike to Reed Bowman, the shortstop, who fanned in the 3rd.
Yeah, Jay Johnson would love to get Holman through 5 innings. He's at 75 pitches right now.
I think that was Herring warming up. That's high and tight. Griffin Herring looks like he might be the next pitcher for LSU. The left-hander getting ready. Only 4 hits in this game, 2 apiece. LSU has the only run. Popped up out of play, right side. Ben, the frostbite level has reached my knees. Any suggestions?
Just keep moving.
Okay.
Just keep moving. Boy, that's an outstanding breaking ball, 1-2. That's exactly where you want to try to throw it, try to get a swing and a miss. Pretty good take by Bowman to take that pitch, because that ball was in the zone for a long time as it leaked off the outside edge at the end.
Here's the make it happen pitch at 2-2. Ground ball, pull foul. Swing and a miss. And Ben, I don't know what's causing this. I'll be the first to admit that. But that is strikeout number 10, and at least 8 of them have been on pitches that looked above the strike zone.
Yeah, it's been a north and south kind of day for Luke Holman, meaning he likes the fastball up, and that's what we heard. Again, he's not going to throw many sinking two-seam fastballs. That's not his game. He wants to pitch right at the top of the strike zone. Why does he like to do that? Well, his fastball's got carry through the zone, so it kind of stays on plane a little bit longer, and you get a lot of swings and misses under those balls. But it also sets up what's been his really, I think, his best pitch of the day, which has been the breaking ball. See, with 10 strikeouts, just 1 walk.
Nate Yeske out to have a word on how to pitch to Leonard. This is just a briefing. I think we'll see Holman for at least 1 more batter.
Yeah, I think this is one of these talks. Hey, this is your last batter. Bear down here. Let's get you through 5. Give you a little extra time to rest. Get my bullpen guy Herring down there a few more tosses. Luke Holman has been very, very good today.
Would a coach come out and say, okay, you've done great. This is going to be your last guy. Bear down. This is the way we want to pitch him. But they would tell you, this is the it.
I need you to empty the tank right now.
Okay.
I need everything you've got. This is going to be your last batter.
Let's see how much meat is left on the bone. The runner moving from first. Travinski's throw is a great one. Out at second base. Oh, my! Hayden Travinski unleashes a laser into the glove of Milam. And what a throw by Hayden Travinski to erase the would-be tying base runner.
Boy, this was good on both ends. Just a rocket throw, but watch how quick the tag is by Milam. I mean, a quick slap tag right on the rear end, and that gets LSU off the field with a run lead. Big time by Travinski and Milam.
When are sports more than sports? When your highlight reel opens the door to 4 years of higher education, 0 student loan debt, and NIL earning potential. When your stats include free room and board, nutrition and mental health support, plus medical care with extended coverage. And when your experiences, friendships, and development put you in the win column for life. For college athletes, sports just mean more.
At Honda, we've chased down a lot of dreams, each one leading to the next. All the way to our latest. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue. Our latest innovation on the road to being carbon neutral by 2050. And certainly not our last.
Coleman McRae kept the LSU Tigers in check, allowing us just 1 run in 4 innings. But he is relieved here by Peyton Wyndham. Wyndham, the new pitcher, the left-hander from Maud, Texas. He's a junior southpaw.
Yeah, last year made 10 appearances for the Bears, 6 of which were starts. Had an elevated ERA, 6.75. His issue last year was the walks. 22 2/3 innings of work last year. Gave up 25 hits. Struck out 18, but he walked 21 batters in just 22 innings of work. But you're right, outstanding job by Coleman McRae. He was outstanding. 4 innings of work, 2 hits. He only allowed the 1 run. Struck out 3 and walked 3. He'll give way to the junior Peyton Wyndham.
And he made some big pitches when he needed to, especially that last breaking ball to Bingham with the bases loaded. Here's Brady Neal. We're a little more than an hour and a half into this game as we play in the bottom of the 5th inning. Both teams only have 2 hits. Neal is 0 for 2, and twice he has been the victim of some outstanding defense on the right side of the diamond. Well, Neal walked slowly back to the dugout after leaving that appearance at the plate. Pretty good breaking pitch, and it was ruled that he went around.
Yeah, that's a pretty tough at bat, lefty on lefty. Wyndham kind of throws across his body, meaning he kind of starts right at the left-handed hitter and sweeps that breaking ball across the zone.
Here's Tommy White. He's first pitch swinging again. You know, Ben, in the wake of 24 home runs and all those extra base hits and the league and national leading RBI total for White, I think it gets overlooked a little bit that last year it was not until the 10th game of the season that he had a home run.
Well, he
hit 2 in that game with a double as well, but it took him 10 games before he connected with a home run, 1 of his 24, or 2 of his 24.
If he gets hot, he can carry you, and he can rack the home runs up in a hurry. Uber aggressive at the plate. That's always been Tommy White. And you're right, he's going to swing at the first pitch pretty much no matter what it is. If it's in the zone, he's hacking. That's what he does. But it's hard to argue with the success he's had. And we talked a little bit about this yesterday. Tommy White's going to have to be a little bit more, if you will, patiently aggressive at the plate, if that makes sense. Because I just don't think he's going to see a ton of pitches to hit this year. I mean, he's going to get everybody's best. And why wouldn't you? When you drive in 105 runs in 66 games like he did last year.
He had a first inning double, and he grounded out to third last time. The 3-2 pitch is belted to deep center field. Sturgeon back. The wind is going to keep this one from getting over Sturgeon's head, and he makes the catch. So Sturgeon in center field, able to track that one down. And two gone here as Peyton Windham has come out of the bullpen to strike out Brady Neal on a half swing and induce a fly ball out from White. This will bring on the cleanup hitter Travinski, who has struck out, been hit by a pitch, and scored the only run of the game. Ball one. Travinski exploded for a .356 average last year with 10 homers and had some clutch RBI, especially over the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season.
And he changed his number. He's wearing that number 8. The captain of the team, if you will. Been a tradition at LSU for how many years now?
Several, yeah. Not quite sure exactly how many, but a bunch. Goes back to what, Matuk? Or at least.
I think Matuk, yeah.
There's a shot on one hop through the gap on the left side. Travinski now has 4 base hits in a couple of games. That's his first today.
Yeah, good to see him get off to a good start. Of course, all players want to get off to a good start. Anytime you get off to a good start early in the year, I think it allows you to relax even a little bit more. Hayden Travinski is so strong, and even when he doesn't catch it on the barrel, he still finds a way to get it through the infield a lot of times.
So that extends the inning for Josh Pearson. Lefty to lefty and a twisting strike. There's another bender. You know, just going back in recent history, one of the best lefty on lefty hitters I've seen and remember for LSU was Morgan. You remember him?
Oh yeah.
Trey Morgan. There have been some other good ones.
Well, the key to hitting lefty on lefty is being able to keep your momentum going towards the pitch. In other words, a lot of lefty-lefty matchups you see that kind of bail out a little bit because most left-handed pitchers are going to pitch to left-handed hitters on the outside part of the plate. Right out there is where they're going to try to go. And if you're leaking a little bit toward first base, there's no way you stay on the ball.
A couple of strikeouts in the inning for Peyton Windham. Travinski left at first base after a single through the left side. And we move forward. We've still got a very tight game. LSU 1, UCA nothing.
At Honda, we've chased down a lot of dreams, each one leading to the next. All the way to our latest. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue. Our latest innovation on the road to being carbon neutral by 2050. And certainly not our last.
When are sports more than sports? When your highlight reel opens the door to 4 years of higher education, 0 student loan debt, and NIL earning potential. When your stats include free room and board, nutrition and mental health support, plus medical care with extended coverage. And when your experiences, friendships, and development put you in the win column for life. For college athletes, sports just mean more.
All right, the sky yesterday was, according to you, the color of an oyster shell, which I'll buy that. I like that. That's a new one. Give me what you got today on the color of the sky, and it's got to be a real word. Like, you can't make up a color like you do sometimes. It's got to be a real color.
All right, let's look at Leonard's bunt roll foul first. Okay, the sky today.
It's very similar to yesterday, but I think
it is.
Just to give you a hint, I think it's a little bit lighter sky today than what it was yesterday.
All right, the sky today over Baton Rouge is the color of the USS Kidd destroyer that is docked in the Mississippi River not far from here.
That also too is a new one, and there it is.
Now it's the upper part of the hull I'm talking about.
Yeah,
today. Could be the lower on another day, though.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. The upper part of the hull. Yeah, I like that.
So I'm 2 for 2 in your book?
No, I like that. Yeah, I like that. I'm just glad we're getting up. I mean, the drought appears to be gone in Louisiana. We had a heck of a drought this summer.
Let's hope it's enough to make the crawfish recover in a hurry, though.
Yeah. It's not sounding good for crawfish season, though.
Braswell jumps on that one. Leonard is retired. So there's the upper part of the Kidd. And if you're in Baton Rouge, be sure to go by and just take a walkthrough of that. It's still free, isn't it? I think it is. I haven't done it in a year or two, but I don't think there's any charge for that. It's very interesting. That's located, well, you see the River Center right there, not far from the state capitol.
I'm hearing in my ear that if Lynn Rollins went, it's definitely free.
Well, that's the point. That's well taken, too. You know, does it surprise you that Holman is in the game? It looked like that through 5 innings, that was going to be his assignment.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised on a day like today, his first start of the year, first start in an LSU uniform, and he's up over 80 pitches. But there's also a time, and these guys are built up, right? I mean, they've been working all fall and, of course, all spring coming back, and your starters are going to be, in that 80-pitch range.
So Mendolia singles to right center field, and I think this is going to be it. Griffin Herring was warming up last inning. Griffin Herring is warming up now, and Griffin Herring is coming into the game. So Herring, the southpaw, will make the walk from the bullpen to the mound as Jay Johnson asks for the ball, and Luke Holman is relieved after 5 1/3 innings. We will step aside for a moment and be back after this pitching change. LSU is clinging to a 1-0 lead.
When are sports more than sports? When your highlight reel opens the door to 4 years of higher education, 0 student loan debt, and NIL earning potential. When your stats include free room and board, nutrition and mental health support, plus medical care with extended coverage. And when your experiences, friendships, and development put you in the win column for life. For college athletes, sports just mean more.
At Honda, we've chased down a lot of dreams, each one leading to the next. All the way to our latest. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue. Our latest innovation on the road to being carbon neutral by 2050. And certainly not our last.
There's LSU starter Luke Holman, 5 1/3 innings of work, 3 hits, no runs to this point, 1 walk, and 10 strikeouts. And he's the only guy in that dugout without a jacket right now. But Luke Holman gives way to Griffin Herring after a shutout performance through 5+.
Yeah, an outstanding effort by Luke Holman. And I go back to the 4th inning, 1st and 3rd from the Bears. Nobody out, yet he punched out the next 3 batters that he saw. And he'll give way to Griffin Herring, who really had an outstanding season last year in his freshman year, his true freshman year. 34 innings of work. He made 18 appearances. They were all out of the bullpen. How about the ERA? Outstanding, 3.93, 19 walks, and 41 strikeouts, so he can strike you out. It's a good arm from the left side, a nice breaking ball, and a changeup to go with it. Herring's fastball, you'll see it 91 to 94. Slider and a changeup.
And he can be more than a 1-inning reliever as well.
Yeah, most of the guys you see in this LSU bullpen, it can give you multiple innings. Of course, that's a big advantage.
He gave up just a little bit fewer hits than innings pitched last year. One nothing Tigers. The only run in this game came in the fourth inning when Travinski was hit by a pitch. And 2 outs later, after a walk, Stephen Milam, the freshman, banged a base hit for an RBI. We've got a pinch hitter. Colton Sagely is batting from the right side. Sageley from Fort Smith, Arkansas. Sagely is hitting for Curtis, or excuse me, for Sermonelli. One out, one on. Leonard was retired on a ground ball to the shortstop. Mendolia singled sharply, and now it's the pinch hitter, Sagely. That's going to allow the runner to move up. So that makes things a little more dicey. It's going to be a wild pitch. So a gift of 90 feet on the base paths. And here we go. 2 balls and a strike, 1 out, tying run at second base. That gets a piece of the outside corner. Ben, you got to like that pitch.
Anytime you can land an off-speed pitch in a fastball count, more times than not, you're going to have a lot of success. And that was an outstanding breaking ball just to the bottom of the zone.
Here's the 2-2. Fouled into the net on the right side. Three balls, 2 strikes. First base is open. Preston Curtis, who is 0 for 2, is on deck. The 3-2 pitch. Looped into left center field. Pretty darn well hit, and it is between. Oh, what a catch! What a catch by Paxton Kling! Paxton Kling! Kling Kong comes through defensively. An amazing performance on a ball that looked out of his reach, and he saves a run.
I'll be honest, I didn't think there was any way anybody was going to get to this ball, and Paxton Kling came out of nowhere to the backhand side, a diving catch, and I mean right off the grass he picked it, because Paxton Kling right there was shaded a little bit toward right center field. And how about this effort?
Perhaps the best I've ever seen.
That was Dylan Cruz-like is what that was like.
An amazing run to the ball, laying out, stretching just as far as he possibly could at full speed. You have seen one of the greatest catches of any year right there.
Well, you see why now the pro scouts are so high on Paxton Kling, because you talk about 5 tools and he can do it all. He just showed you one of them right there. Well, actually 2 of them. The speed to be able to get to the ball and an outstanding catch right off the grass.
There's a bouncing ball to the left of the bag, foul off the bat of Curtis. But my goodness, Ben, that's going to be one of the all-time highlight defensive catches.
Big time. In a huge moment, too, because that ball gets down. Obviously, it's an RBI double is what it would be in a tie ball game.
Well, he might be Kling Kong at the plate. He was King Kong, King Kling on that defensive play. Man, you just don't see that every day, do you? You don't see that sometimes in a season. That's incredible.
The fact he got to it and shaded the, towards right center field versus left center field.
And and your point's well made as you go back and look at the replay. He was not even in the picture until he sprinted into sight and just kept going and tracked it down.
Well, Bingham in left field, Bingham was shallow, and so he wasn't going to get to the ball. Kling had the only chance to get to it.
There is still work to be done. The tying run is at first base. Let's take another look at this.
Yeah, watch the jump. I mean, the jump is outstanding. And right there, I said, no way anybody's getting to this. And there's Kling out of nowhere. with by far the best catch we've seen of the season so far.
Just extraordinary. However, Curtis extends the inning as he's able to earn a walk. LSU pitchers have been good in the control department. That's only the second walk of the game. But it brings on Shipley from Farmington, Arkansas. Twice he struck out against Holman.
Yeah, he's had a rough day so far today, but he was one of the better hitters for Central Arkansas last year. Shipley hit .331, 9 homers, drove in 47 last year.
The veteran Travinsky goes out to talk to the youngster. Let's see what they do here. Runners at first and second. LSU clinging, and yes, I mean to say that, clinging to a 1-run lead. Ball 1. And a right-hander warming up in the bullpen, but not yet on the mound. Fidel Oyoa is warming up. Now he is backed up a little bit, working from the bullpen mound. Ulloa warming up.
Yeah, Ulloa's got a big arm. I mean, that fastball for him is going to be a low to mid-90s type fastball. Junior college last year.
2 balls and a strike, 2 outs. A big pitch coming. A ripper over the outside edge. 1-0 LSU. Each team with 3 hits, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. A check swing and a commitment. Shipley on a half swing is ruled out. Griffin Herring comes on and is helped out by an incredibly difficult catch. One of the best you will ever see anywhere, anytime, any ballpark, by Kling in center field. The lead is sustained for the moment, 1-0 Tigers.
When are sports more than sports? When your highlight reel opens the door to 4 years of higher education, 0 student loan debt, and NIL earning potential. When your stats include free room and board, nutrition and mental health support, plus medical care with extended coverage. And when your experiences, friendships, and development put you in the win column for life. For college athletes, sports just mean more.
At Honda, we've chased down a lot of dreams, each one leading to the next. All the way to our latest. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue. Our latest innovation on the road to being carbon neutral by 2050. And certainly not our last.
Brr. Brr. Not bear, but brr. 1-0 Tigers over the Bears as we play in the bottom of the 6th inning here in Baton Rouge. Temperature in the 40s. Wind continues to blow out of the north. People bundled up, and Ben, these are hardy and loyal and enthusiastic fans like none other across college baseball.
Well, packed house yesterday. Not as many here today, but still a very, very good crowd considering the weather.
This ball is tagged deep right center field. It is going to stay in the ballpark, and it's tracked down by Sturgeon in center field. So Braswell follows Jones to the plate after a deep fly ball. Jones has hit the ball hard on a couple of occasions today, but he's 0 for 3. Braswell has lined out to center field and walked. He was left at third base in the 4th inning. LSU got its only run of the game in that 4th. And that has been the only time the scoreboard has been changed today. No runs, 3 hits for Central Arkansas. 1 run, 3 hits for the Tigers. This game very much unlike the one we saw last night. Wyndham has worked an inning and a 3rd in relief. He struck out 2 last inning, gave up a base hit. This ground ball takes a chest-high hop to the second baseman Leonard, and the out is made at first. Here's Milam. Right now, he's the story of the day. He walked in his first at bat, and then in his first official plate appearance, last time singled in the 4th inning, and he has accounted for the only run.
Yeah, he's had a good day on defense too. I mean, that inning-ending throw by Travinsky down to second base, a really quick tag by Milam. You mentioned 2 plate appearances, been on both times, a stolen base, a walk, and an RBI single.
Let's go back and look at the only RBI base hit of the game.
Yeah, batting for the left side. Now, he's a switch hitter. Boy, he was first ball hunting a fastball, and he got one. Barreled it up to the right side. Travinsky came home, and that's the only run of the day for either team so far.
Now, Milam is one of the smallest players in the league. He's 5'8", 172 pounds. But he led all high schoolers in New Mexico in slugging percentage last year. So he packs a wallop, despite the fact that he's not physically an imposing or big guy. But he can certainly play. And we see him go to the other side this time against the left-hander.
Yeah, listed at 5'8". I'm not sure. Maybe in spikes. Maybe they measured him in spikes.
You don't see a lot of switch hitters in college baseball anymore. Not that you ever saw a lot of them. And I don't think there's as many switch hitters in Major League Baseball as there used to be as well.
Boy, it's certainly an advantage if you got them.
There's a quick pass, and Milam becomes a base runner.
How about that? 3 plate appearances, on base all 3 times for the freshman.
Right now, offensively, the game belongs to Stephen Milam, and defensively, it belongs to Paxton Kling. And guess who's at the plate? A strike to Kling Kong.
Boy, the right fielder, Zeb Allen, is playing deep.
Oh, wow.
Very deep.
It would take me a week to get to him.
Now, the wind's changed a little bit. It was pretty much blowing straight in when the game began. Now it's kind of blowing a little bit more towards the right field.
Give me a magnifying glass. I'm going to need to put it up against our monitor to see the right fielder.
That's pretty deep, though, with the way the wind's blowing.
But you made the point last night. If it's hit over your head from there, it's going to be a home run anyway. So why are you giving up the ground in front of you to make it easier for a base hit?
The only thing I can think of in this situation, there are no doubles, meaning they don't want to give up a double. So your outfielders push back a little bit. You got 2 out, so you keep the runner from scoring. Because if the ball gets over your head in the outfield, obviously the runner could score from first base.
Right, or it'll be a home run anyway.
Right, but if you play deep, at least the ball falls in front, and maybe it's, instead of a run scoring, it's a first and third or a second, third situation.
And I think that makes sense. If there were no base runners, they may be not that deep. Two balls, 2 strikes to the sophomore center fielder Paxton Kling, who already has turned in the defensive play of the year, in my opinion. And obviously, I'm extending over the course of the whole season. That was one tremendous catch by Paxton Kling. Popped up. Leonard drifting to his left. He's got it. The inning is over. And we remain a one-run game. The 7th inning straight ahead between UCA and LSU. 1-0 Tigers. Count them 8 SEC teams in the preseason top 25. Florida, Arkansas, and LSU behind Wake Forest at 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Vanderbilt is 6th. A&M is 8th. Then Tennessee is 9. And a couple more in there. Texas A&M.
Alabama, South Carolina ranked preseason.
You know, that's what, 8 out of the top 10 from the SEC? Or 6 out of the top 10?
Yeah, 6 out of the top 9 are SEC teams, yes. LSU will get a full dose of that top 9 too.
But here's what's great during the regular season for fans. Every time you get a matchup in those teams that we just saw and others, it's like a super regional weekend.
Yes. Well, we've always said this about the SEC. While it is a mental and physical grind when you get to that 30-game schedule, it's difficult to navigate your way through it. There's so many ebbs and flows, ups and downs, if you will, but it prepares you for the postseason, because once you get through that SEC schedule, you're not going to see anything that you haven't seen before. So that's the good news. If you can make it through that grind, it really prepares you for what's coming up in the postseason. And this year, the SEC is the strongest it's ever been. You mentioned 6 of the top 9 are ranked. And if you go back and look, I mean, the SEC has won, what, the last 4 national titles and 5 out of the last 6. I mean, that's how dominant this league has been.
This ball is hit sharply, but gobbled up by Milam at second base. Sturgeon 0 for 3 now. And so Ben Griffin Herring is working in a one-run game. There is no room for error. So we'll see how this young man responds. He had to work out of a hot spot in the 6th inning when he came on. He's retired 3 of the 4 batters he's faced. Mason King has struck out and bounced out back to the pitcher. Both of his at-bats were against the starter Luke Holman. If you've just joined us, Holman went 5 1/3 innings. Holman gave up 3 hits, no runs. He walked 1. He struck out 10. The hits are even at 3. Here's the 2-1 pitch. The 3-1. That's high and away. Every time there's a base runner for the Bears, it represents the tying run. And there is a right-hander warming up for the Tigers.
There he is, Fidel Ulloa.
He was up getting ready momentarily last inning. Zeb Allen from Fort Smith, Arkansas at the plate. He has flied to right with a diving catch being made by Josh Pearson. And he has walked and then was gunned down stealing on a fantastic throw by Hayden Travinsky. Look at the lead at first base by King. It is big. But it's that lead you talked about last night, where the first move by the left-handed pitcher is going to be back to first base by the runner. But he is really extending that distance between his lead and the bag.
Well, he was one of the best base runners they had last year. He stole 21 bases, did King, last year. So he is a threat to try to get in scored position.
He has shortened it a little bit, and there's a strike. That's a good pitch after a long wait by Herring.
And that's the idea, right? I mean, you got the pitch clock you have to navigate. So the idea is to come set early like Herring's doing right now. Now you can hold the ball on the runner a little bit and then go to home plate where you want to. But right now he's dotting I's on that outside part of the plate as Herring.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. The infield at double play depth. A 1-0 lead, a tenuous advantage in the 7th for the Tigers.
Could be running here. Nope.
I thought he might as well.
Yeah, he got a little bit more of a lead on that one. If you watch Griffin Herring, it's more of a slide step, so he doesn't have a big high leg kick going towards home plate. He's going to get Hayden Travinski an opportunity to throw that runner out if he does take off.
Travinski was able to keep that one in play. In games like this, Ben, the little things start to gain so much more importance, don't they?
It matters.
A wild pitch, a pass ball, a wrong decision on the infield,
and LSU's
a failed event out of bunt. You name it, it could determine the outcome.
They've been very clean on defense so far. A couple errors yesterday in game 1, but clean so far today with some outstanding defensive efforts.
This team with no errors, and the visiting team with no errors as well.
Been a well-played game, a well-pitched game by both teams.
There's a throw. The runner may be moving on a 3-2 pitch. In fact, my inclination is he will. What do you think?
I think he will. Now, Travinski, because he threw out that first base runner, he may have changed their minds, but I would be shocked if the runner's not moving here. He's not.
Swing. And he'll stay alive. I got to believe he's going. I just do.
Well, Griffin Herring is the reason why he hadn't gone yet. He's coming set quick, and he's holding the ball, and it's really quick. When he decides to go towards home plate, he is getting the ball there quick.
King is not moving again. And that's a check swing foul ball. Zeb Allen battling, Griffin Herring delivering. The infield receiving the electronic call from the dugout. Here's the 9th pitch of this at bat. Just off the plate, and that moves the tying run to second base with only 1 out. Back-to-back walks after Sturgeon was retired on the infield.
Yeah, we've seen this pitch called today, but not this time. Just off the outside corner.
Maybe. Reed Bowman at the plate.
Yeah, look like Jay Johnson's going to come out of that LSU dugout. See if he makes a pitching change or not. Ulloa's got to be loose by now. He has been throwing for a while, as you mentioned.
This matter is brought to you by Sugar Street.
It's a dire situation for LSU in the 7th, and the call has been made to the bullpen. So we will see the newcomer, Fidel Ulloa. Ulloa will replace Herring. We'll take a timeout and be right back. 1-0 Tigers lead late. Fidel Ulloa is the new pitcher from Lodi, California. Yep. And Ben, this isn't his first stop.
No,
but
a couple
Tigers
years
are high on him.
Junior college ball over in Stockton, California. Had a really good year in junior college last year. 14 games, 10 of which were starts. 5-1 record. He struck out 75 in just 55 innings of work. It's a big arm. I mean, the fastball is a mid-90s fastball with an outstanding slider.
His mom is a winery supervisor in California.
Not moonshine, but wine, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, you were talking about a little moonshine before the game started.
No, I wasn't talking about it. The supplier to somebody else here in the stadium. Apparently, it had a little transportation problem. There might have been some sirens involved. I'm not sure.
That's the same lady that gave you that nice beanie cap, though, that's keeping you warm right now.
Yeah, we need a shot of the press box. I mean, we are bundled up here like nobody's business. Meanwhile,
pretty tough situation to inherit.
Ulloa.
Your first outing.
Can he get a
LSU
strikeout?
uniform.
Reed Bowman is standing in his way. LSU's bullpen will get somebody else warming up as well. Sam Dutton might be getting ready. First pitch as a Tiger is a swinging strike. Bowman last year hit just under 300 with 4 homers and 25 driven in. He was their second leading hitter a year ago. The outfield pretty much medium depth and maybe a step or two the other way. There's one with a little slider action to it.
There's the breaking ball. It's a 2-pitch mix. A good fastball, and there's your breaking ball.
Is that the Raleigh Fingers mustache?
That's what it looks like. Got it curled up on both ends.
And the pitch. Swing and a miss.
That didn't take long, did it?
That's the way to start your LSU career, with a tying run at second base.
A good fastball, mid-90s fastball, and back-to-back breaking balls. How about this bender here?
That one was darting like a shad in shallow water. But he's still got work to do. Leonard at the bottom of the order from Searcy, Arkansas. Steve right. Runners at second and first. The tying run at second base, the go-ahead run at first base. Here's the pitch. Fastball elevated.
How about that, though? 96?
Yeah. Ulloa from the stretch to the plate. A strike on the inside part of the plate, and that is a very difficult pitch to hit. Leonard has struck out and grounded to short.
Good fastball to speed that bat up to the inside part of the plate. If you're hitting, you're thinking, okay, I got to get my foot down, I got to get going. And if Ulloa can get that breaking ball going to the outside part or off the outside edge, he may get that swing and a miss he's looking for.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Time called.
Yep, there was the breaking ball, but unfortunately.
Well, Ulloa inherited in a one-run game runners at second and first with one out. They got there via walks. And he struck out Bowman. And that might have been a time violation. I think it was. Yeah, they put another ball on the scoreboard, so it's now 2-2. The make it happen pitch. Three balls, 2 strikes, and now the base runners will have the advantage of leaving early. 2 outs, 2 on.
What's he throwing here? Fastball, or is he going with a 3-2 breaking ball? I'm saying he's going back with that breaking ball. Fastball.
Swing and a miss. Ulloa. Ooh, baby, was that good coming out of the dugout, coming out of the bullpen. Ulloa strikes out the batters he faces with the tying run at second base, the go-ahead run at first base. We move on. Each team has 3 hits. LSU has the only run. It's a tidy line score, isn't it? Nothing but ciphers on the board for Central Arkansas. And only 1 run in the 4th for the Tigers. Each team has been limited to 3 base hits. And here we go. In the bottom of the 7th inning, Mac Bingham is up for the Tigers. At the top of the order, 0 for 2 today. He has popped up to the third baseman, walked and struck out. And Peyton Wyndham is back on the mound for his third inning of relief, and he's done a nice job. He's allowed a base hit, and he has walked a batter, but he hasn't been in any difficulty, and he's trying to keep his team very close. The 1-1 pitch to Bingham. Smashed high and deep to left center field, but Sturgeon has room, and that wind is going to hold it up. And Sturgeon is there for the easy catch. Bingham flies to center field. And looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here. Brady Neal will not bat. Ethan Fry, you spoke about him earlier, Ben. He's going to get his at-bat here.
Yeah, Ethan Fry's a guy that didn't get a ton of playing time last year, but he is a big dude with a lot of pop, too.
Neal was 0 for 3, but twice he was robbed of a base hit by the first baseman, Mendolia. Fry is one of the bigger players in the SEC. Ethan stands 6'5". He weighs a pound under 230. From Rose Pine, Louisiana. Do not exceed the speed limit there.
They will throw you under the jail. Not in jail, but under it.
The following message supplied by the Rose Pine Chamber of Commerce. Ground ball hit sharply left side. Reed Bowman is up with it. 2 outs. Here's Tommy White. He has doubled in the first. Since then, grounded out and flied out. We've got ourselves an old-fashioned pitcher's duel. With every swing, every decision, every throw, every execution of a play vital. White goes right side. That's a sinking liner. It's down in front of Zeb Allen. And that's the swing that makes profit for Tommy White.
That's what makes Tommy White special right there. The ability to drive the ball with some authority to the opposite field. And I love this approach here. And this was where Tommy White was at his best last year and really the year before at NC State. The ability to let the ball travel, let it come to you, and then find the barrel and hit it hard the other way. He's been a little bit antsy the first couple at bats of the season so far. Why not? It's a big year for him. It's a draft year coming off a monster season. But that's what makes him the best right there.
And Hayden Travinski, who leads LSU with 4 base hits over the course of 2 games, is at the plate. He has struck out, been hit by a pitch, and scored the only run. And he had a base hit last time. White has a very short lead, as is his custom.
Yeah, I don't think Tommy White stole a base last year. You can see that lead. If he were to dive back right now, he'd land on the other side of the base. He's so close to it.
That's a good point. Here's a smash to left field. It is foul.
Well, remember, Tommy White hurt his shoulder last year. His very first at bat in the LSU uniform last year. He singled up the middle, RBI single, and then got a little bit too big of a lead, and they tried to pick him off, and he dove back. And that's when he hurt his throwing shoulder last year. And you mentioned had to miss the next 5 games, came back, but the arm was never really the same. Like you could tell when he played defense, didn't quite have the arm strength, had to have a couple of surgeries to get it fixed in the offseason. Missed the fall, but healthy and ready to go now. What I'm getting at is he's not going to get a big lead to take a chance of having to dive back again.
And he did not attempt a stolen base last year. Here's the 3-1 pitch. It's a hitter's count to Travinski. Way up and out. So a bit of a 2-out noisemaker for LSU. A single by White and a walk to Travinski. And we're going to have a pinch runner at first base. That is Zeb Rudell. Excuse me, Ruddle. Zeb Ruddle is the pinch runner at first. making his LSU debut. Pearson at the plate, and an early strike. A liner to center field. Sturgeon coming on. Sturgeon dives, and Sturgeon saves a run. Sturgeon coming as quickly as he could toward the infield, had to leave his feet, stretched and used the entire length of his body, and made the catch to save a run and take a base hit away from Pearson.
Well, it's been a glove show by our center fielders, and an outstanding play by Sturgeon here. He comes in, and that saves a run right there. It'll stay 1-0 Tigers as we head to the top of the 8th inning.
Welcome back, everyone. The 1-0 score still stands as we move to the 8th inning. Tigers have made a defensive change. Behind the plate is Alex Milazzo now. Hayden Travinski was lifted for a pinch runner in the bottom of the last inning, and Alex Milazzo will now assume the receiver position. Tigers are deep, deep behind the plate this year. That's not always been the case.
No.
Well, there's a newcomer in your picture for LSU, Fidel Ulloa. And he came out of the bullpen with runners at second and first and one out. Working in relief last inning and struck out Bowman. He struck out Leonard. What a performance it was. The pitch curls in for a strike. Then he looks like he's got real tight spin on that slider.
Yeah, and he's a strike thrower, too. We've seen a really good fastball, and you're right. That slider, it's a hard slider, traditional slider, kind of right to left action. There it is again. Wow. I'm not sure where that one missed, if it missed at all. Ulloa thought he had a strikeout. Alex Milazzo thought he had a strikeout.
Instead, it goes as a base on balls, and there is no room for error. Tying runner at first base. Dutton and Primo, a right-hander and a left-hander, are warming up for LSU. And here is Sagely hitting for the second time from Fort Smith, Arkansas. He was robbed of a base hit by one of the best plays in center field you will ever see at any level by Paxton Kling a couple of innings ago. Ulloa throws it hard to first base, doesn't he?
I think he throws it hard everywhere. Central Arkansas right where they want to be, though. Leadoff batter owns, got some speed. And right at the top of their lineup.
This is one of those games where the responsibility is squarely on the bullpen. With the most slender of leads right now, 1-0 in the 8th. Only 7 hits in this game. The Tigers have 4 of them. Ulloa to the plate. Steve Reich at the bottom part of the zone. Ulloa looking for a strikeout. The 1-2 pitch upstairs. The make it happen pitch at 2-2. It's lifted into shallow right field. Pearson has plenty of time to gather it, and he does. One out, one on for Curtis.
Now batting for Central Arkansas, left fielder
Preston Curtis has grounded out, struck out, and walked.
Now, Preston Curtis had a monster year last year in junior college. Hit .422 with 23 homers and drove in 78. First team All-American in junior college ball last year.
Strike with pitch number 1. One ball, one strike. Tension building in Baton Rouge. Day 2, game 2 for the Tigers, defending national champions. Or as Jay Johnson prefers to say, attacking national champions. The pitch. That's that good twister again.
That's pretty much what we've seen. They say Ulloa throws a little bit of a changeup from time to time. We've not seen that. It's been heavy fastball, slider.
The 1-2, Ulloa to the plate. Curtis is able to slice one off. And the pitch, check swing and a commitment, another strikeout, and that is a big one. Curtis has fanned twice today. He could not stop his swing in time. 2 outs with the runner still at first.
Another exploding fastball by Ulloa just off the outside edge. And Curtis couldn't hold his swing. Did he go? Yes, he did.
Casey Shipley will try to extend the inning and help Central Arkansas to the scoreboard for the first time. But he has had a tough day. He has fanned 3 times. The lead is stretched a little bit, and the runner is moving from first base. Hit and run is on. Jones is chasing, but that is well out of his reach on the right side. Ground ball right side, it finds the outfield. The inning is extended as Shipley fights it off, Ben, and is able to punch it into right field.
Yeah, just kind of cued it right off the end of the bat. Milan, the second baseman for LSU, shaded more up the middle. This ball just off the edge of the bat. So the inning continues. Now the tying run in scored position.
These Bears won't go away. Each team with only 4 hits. LSU has the only run. 2 outs, 2 on for the second consecutive inning. I'm not sure what this is all about.
He may be checking. Jay Johnson may be checking how many visits he has.
Yeah, I think that's a likely question.
He's not made the move to the bullpen yet. Left-hander appears to be ready down there.
This game has the makings of something out of what, 25 years ago. I mean, we are in a 1-0 game, and there will be a pitching change. It is DJ Primo. And we'll take a timeout. Still 1-0. LSU trying to hold on here in the 8th, but a couple of base runners with 2 outs for UCA. Well, Ben McDonald, it's a big moment for the youngster DJ Primo. He was on the team last year, but he did not pitch. He was redshirted, so he is making his LSU debut with the tying run at second base and the go-ahead run at first base as we are late on day 2 against UCA. Yeah, 1-0 LSU in the 8th.
Primo played his high school ball at Central High School right here in the Baton Rouge area. And he was rated the #1 left-handed pitcher in the state of Louisiana coming out his senior year. Fastball's good from the left side. Fastball's 92 to 95. Slider and a changeup as well.
Take a deep breath, young man.
Nothing like getting right into the fire in your first collegiate appearance.
This is what kids dream about, don't they? Drew Sturgeon at the plate, lefty on lefty. That's tight, ball 1. 1-0 Tigers. The only run of this game came on a base hit by Stephen Milam. The freshman scoring the veteran, Hayden Travinsky, and that was in the 4th inning. The pitch, chopped back up in front of the mound. It's over the pitcher. It's grabbed by shortstop Braswell, and he makes the play. And once again, LSU's defense turns away the Bears. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's still a 1-0 game, LSU leading. Time will tell, of course, but here is the D1 Baseball preseason All-America team, and Ben, there's a whole lot of talent listed right there with Tommy White from LSU representing the Tigers.
Yeah, some big-time names. Some guys going to be some high draft pick. Nick Kurtz, you see second on the list, first baseman at Wake Forest. Expect to be a high first-round draft pick. Of course, Wake Forest ranked pretty much in everybody's poll #1 overall. You see Jason Lavalette over at A&M had an outstanding freshman year last year. How about Brody Breck on the second column, third from the top right there. Fastball up to 101 miles an hour. Was a receiver for the Iowa football team, but it's concentrating on just pitching now, and he's got a big-time arm too, so some big talent there on that list.
And a whole lot of SEC folks on that list as well.
7 of them on that list.
Jared Jones waits at the plate.
Well, LSU would love to put a run or 2 on the scoreboard here.
And give some credit for Paxton Wyndham. He's been really good coming out of the bullpen.
I mean, I'll tell you what, Central Arkansas has pitched it well today, and they played some tidy defense as well.
This is hit deep, slicing off to right field, carrying. You can pucker up and kiss that baby goodbye. LSU on the lead, just doubles the lead with the opposite field home run. It had enough to beat the wind, and it gives LSU some insurance. The 5th hit of the game for the Tigers is the 2nd home run of the season for Jared Jones.
Boy, that is scary. Scary pop right there. And that's about the only place you're going to lead today. Straightaway right field. This ball kind of gets up in the air, and the big fella, Jared Jones, just kind of slices it right next to the fair pole for his 2nd long ball of the year, and now a 2-run lead for LSU.
So Jared Jones homered in the 2nd inning yesterday with 2 aboard. He homers in the 8th inning as the lead hitter here on day 2. Lead hitter in this 8th inning. Braswell will follow. He has lined out to center, walked and grounded out to second. That's hit sharply and snagged by Wyndham. Look what I found. Well tagged by Braswell, but Wyndham was equal to the challenge.
Braswell still hunting his first base hit in the LSU uniform. He hits this one firm. Right back to Wyndham, who collects it and collects the first out of the inning here in the 8th.
No runs, 4 hits for UCA, 2 runs, 5 hits for the Tigers. There may be a play here. There will be, and it drops between the first baseman and the second baseman. That's a communication issue there, Ben. That's really the second baseman's call if he wants to take charge.
Well, he's the one that should catch that ball, and why is because he starts a little bit deeper, so the angle for him to collect that fly ball is much better than the first baseman, who typically plays up a little bit more. But you're right, communication's so important. And with a windy day, it's tough. You see the first baseman kind of over and the ball's coming back, and that's why we talked about early in the game. Pop-ups today because of the wind. Everybody needs to pursue it. You got to have the communication. Central Arkansas not able to get it done on that play.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. LSU has doubled its lead with a leadoff home run in the 8th by Jared Jones. That 3-2 pitch finds Stephen Milam. Well, he's been on base 4 times. That's exactly what you want from anybody. Doesn't matter how you get there, right?
No doubt.
A walk, a single, an RBI single, another walk, and a hit batter.
That'll keep you in the lineup. You get 4 plate appearances, you get on base all 4 times. Those probably put you in the lineup again tomorrow.
Ben, are they wearing magnets inside those jerseys? I mean, that's the 11th hit batter in 2 games.
I know. I mean, LSU was a magnet really starting last year. I mean, towards the top of the country last year and hit by pitches. And this year, a lot so far.
11 of them. And isn't baseball a beautiful game? Yesterday, a whole lot of runs scored. Today, a 2-0 nail biter. One out, Milam at first base. Short lead. Now he takes an extra step. Still a small advantage. And the pitch is high and away to Paxton Kling. That's a strike on the inner part of the plate. Two balls and a strike. Kling now has the advantage at 3-1.
Yeah, you may see Milam here in motion.
He has stretched his lead a little bit. He's bouncing at first, not going, and Kling chops it foul. Let's go back and look at one of the best catches ever.
Yeah, that's a tying run out at second base right there. And how about this? Out of nowhere, Paxton Kling with by far the best play we've seen so far this year, and one of the best we've seen here at LSU in a long time.
And then Mac Bingham had to act like a hurdler to keep from tripping over his center fielder. Boy, was that dandy. Oh, he literally swung himself off his feet. So 0 for 3 at the bottom of the order with a hit Batman. But one tremendous catch in center field, and you see Kling just let her rip. This brings on Bingham at the top of the order, but we are going to have a pitching change. They're going to go with the righty to the righty. This is Hunter Alexander coming out of the bullpen. Check it, it's Gavin Alvetti. Alvetti will come on and we will take a break. LSU clinging to a 2-0 lead. We play in the 8th inning. Well, Peyton Wyndham was really good in relief, but now it's Galvin Alvetti as the Bears go to the right-handed sophomore to face this hitter for LSU. And, of course, it's the top of the order in Mac Bingham, who is 0 for 3. But good job by Wyndham, but what do we know about Alvetti?
Alvetti out of Searcy, Arkansas. Played 1 year at Connors State, so he transfers over. And what would be his sophomore year, so making his debut in a Central Arkansas uniform.
Bingham has been on base once. He walked in the 3rd. The outfield is deep and straight away. Alvetti has a bit of a sidewinder look, doesn't he?
Yeah, he came in, he was pointing to his wrist, and the only thing I could figure out was he didn't have one of those watches on. So they got to go back to traditional signs where the catcher actually puts the fingers down.
And we've got hit batter number 12 in 2 games. That's not a misprint. I didn't misstate it. That's amazing, Ben. 12 hit batters already.
That is a lot. Well, this is the time of year the hitters are typically a little bit ahead of the pitchers. I mean, the pitchers hadn't got a ton of work to this point. And on a day like today when it's nice and cold outside, can't really feel the ball, you're going to have some control issue. But all in all, the pitchers have pitched it really well today. I mean, there's only a total of 9 hits on the scoreboard and just 2 runs. Now he's got his watch on, his monitor on.
Two runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Tigers. 0-4 and 0 for UCA. Ball 1 to Ethan Fry. Ethan batting for the 2nd time. He grounded out earlier. And the pitch to the big right-handed hitter. A breaking ball for a strike.
Well, if you're Alvetti, this is the guy you want. You want Ethan Fry because Tommy White is on deck. 2 for 4 day for him so far.
Alvetti to the plate. Ground ball chopped left side toward the hole, fielded by the shortstop, but he has no throw. That ball was perfectly placed on the infield between King and Bowman on the left side. And Fry is aboard with the infield hit, and here comes the nation's leading RBI producer. After this chop to the left side, goes for an infield hit. Tommy White.
Tommy tanks. 105 RBIs last year, led the nation, a chance to blow this game wide open.
He has a double, a ground out, a fly out, and a single. 2 for 4.
Yeah, he did not like that call. That ball looked like it ran off the inside part of the plate, but called a strike.
White chops that one foul. He led the nation in RBI. He leads the nation in gold chains.
Plenty of bling. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. I don't think it's 2 and 1. I think it's 1 and 2.
That is correct. Chop right side. It takes a chest high bounce for the second baseman. And the choice is made for second base and the out. White on the fielder's choice ends the inning. LSU will take a 2-0 lead into the 9th inning against UCA. LSU has made a pitching change. This is Samuel Dutton. He'll work with a 2-run lead in the 9th, a junior from Southside Alabama. And Sam Dutton looking for the save here for the LSU Tigers. Now, we do have some defensive changes as well for LSU. Ben Napolt is at third base. So Napolt for White at third. We saw a similar late game substitution yesterday.
Yeah,
for LSU.
And Sam Dutton will pitch in back-to-back games. He only threw 3 pitches in yesterday's game, the opener against VMI. Pitched a third of an inning. Threw 3 pitches to get LSU out of that inning.
So here we go. A 2-run lead in the 9th. Dutton finds the strike zone against Mason King. Quickly, we bring you up to date on SEC scores. South Carolina has won it 11-4 over Miami of Ohio. Missouri beat Cal Poly 12-8 in California. This is going to be out of play. Kentucky shut out South Carolina upstate 3-0. Auburn beat Eastern Kentucky 6-1. Texas A&M leads in the 5th inning against McNeese 1-0. Vanderbilt 4, FAU 1. That's in the 5th inning. Alabama 9-0 over Manhattan in the 4th inning in Tuscaloosa. Georgia in the 5th inning is pounding UNC Asheville. It's 9-1. Arkansas 3-1 over James Mason in the 5th. And later it's Air Force and Mississippi State. Ole Miss in Hawaii for a doubleheader. And Oklahoma and Tennessee. You are up to date in the SEC.
Yeah, Ole Miss and Hawaii played 13 innings last night. Ole Miss coming out on top.
And the St. John's at Florida game has been canceled. Liner to right. It will carry out, and a grab is made by Josh Pearson. Pearson hesitated just a moment, but that ball carried, and Pearson was able to recover and come on and make the catch.
Yeah, I don't know if he didn't see this ball off the bat right away, but there was a little bit of hesitation. Josh Pearson comes crashing in at the last moment right there and grabs it right off the ground.
So 1 gone in the 9th inning. And here is Zeb Allen, a Fort Smith, Arkansas fellow. Reed Bowman is on deck. The Tigers are working with a lefty-righty combination in the bullpen, just in case. 2 strikes on Zeb Allen. And the pitch. Swing and a miss.
Well, that was kind of good morning, good afternoon, and we'll see you on Monday. That's an elevated fastball right to the top of the zone.
Ben, how many total strikeouts for LSU pitchers tonight?
I think it's around 15, if I'm not mistaken.
It is 15. They had 13 yesterday.
Yeah.
The pitch hit sharply to the right side. Shift is on, and it still beats it. That was a pinch hitter, Jagger Shattle. That one just found the alley between everybody on the infield on the right side. And we'll have a runner at first base. Cade Seldomridge is the runner at first. So these Bears haven't hibernated yet, Ben. They've still got one out with which to work, and the tying run at the plate. The hits have been hard to come by today. Only 11 between the two teams. LSU has 6. It's been an RBI single by the rookie Stephen Milam. That came in the 4th inning. And then a bit of insurance off the bat of Jared Jones with his 2nd home run of the year in the 8th. This is out of the reach of Pearson in right field in foul ground. Tanner Leonard at the bottom of the order has been at the plate 3 times. He has fanned twice and grounded out to the shortstop. Samuel Dutton looking for the save. The right-hander from the belt to the plate, low and away. Two balls and a strike. A.J. Mendolia, representing the top of the order, is next if this game is extended, and he has a double and a single today. The pitch. That's a smoker for a strike. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, and the Tigers win it in shutout fashion. Relief pitching was really good, following a nice start by Luke Holman. And it was Holman, it was Herring, it was Ulloa, it was Primo, and it was Dutton getting it done on the mound for LSU, Ben.
Yeah, I think it started with Luke Holman, right? He goes 5 1/3 shutout. He punches out 10. Herring was good. Ulloa was outstanding and inherited a very tough situation, 1st and 2nd. Strikes out 2 to get out of that inning. Primo was good, and Samuel Dutton pitched back-to-back days. So the Tigers strike out 15 today.
Actually, 16. Add that other one, yeah.
And they struck out 14 yesterday, so 30 strikeouts in the first 2 games. From an offensive standpoint, not a whole lot going on. Really, Stephen Milam, 4 plate appearances. He gets on all 4 times. RBI single for him to get LSU on the scoreboard. And then the big fella, Jared Jones, with some insurance in the 8th inning, his 2nd home run of the year. You'll take the wins any way you can get them. LSU starts the season off 2-0, but it was weird. It was offense yesterday that won the game for LSU, but it was the pitching and the defense that did it today. So LSU early showing you that they can win ball games in different ways already.
And a programming note as we continue with LSU baseball tomorrow. It'll be a 1 o'clock start Central Time here at Alex Box Stadium, Skip Bertman Field. Same time, same place. Here on the SEC ESPN network. It'll be LSU and VMI for the 2nd time this weekend tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We hope you'll take the time to join us and tell a buddy about the broadcast. So that will wrap it up from very chilly Baton Rouge this afternoon. It was a 2-0 shutout for the LSU Tigers over UCA, and the Tigers will be in action again tomorrow at 1 o'clock. For Ben McDonald, I'm Lynn Rollins. Again, the final score, LSU wins at 2-0. Good afternoon from Baton Rouge.